Remember growing up making the perfect mixtape was an art? It would take hours or even days to get the mood just right. It's an art that's nearly been lost in today's drag and drop digital playlist world.
We're four friends of 35 years with many, many mixtapes between us. Join us each episode as we pick a theme, discuss the songs, and build an infinite mixtape. Welcome to the Mixtape Diaries.
3, 2, 1. We're back again, hopefully in a hurry, with another episode of the Mixtape Diaries, picking up where we left off on our Apple Replay series. It's a series when we do two of them. We split it up because we had a lot of content here, picked a lot of songs. We'll be grabbing that in a minute, but we've got the four of us here. That is to say we have Brad, Carla, Bob, and Mark in the house. And Carla's going to do our announcements because I'm all about business right now. All about it.
The announcements are kind of like business, so we'll just keep that going. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you could please take a minute to hit that rating button or give us a review. It's been a minute since we've had a review. Or share this podcast with a friend. Every time you guys do that, it pushes this podcast out to more and more people, which is the goal for us. We greatly appreciate your feedback. Just hit that rating button, please.
Just did it for you.
Smash
Done.
it. Smash it.
Yeah, smash it. So.
You just got a bunch of reviews.
We're a bit more active online these days. You can find us on Instagram at the Mixtape Diaries podcast. Mark's been doing a great job with that. We've been posting some show content that we've all been to in our respective cities, anniversaries of records, and all kinds of fun stuff there. We have a Substack, which is the Mixtape Diaries podcast. You'll find additional playlists there that I build off of what populates into our text threads because we're constantly throwing songs at each other. Drop us an email. Let us know what you think. Give us some show themes. Our Gmail is the Mixtape Diaries podcast at gmail.com. And we don't really post on Twitter or X that much, but you can find us there, and that's at MT Diaries. Every time we do an episode, we add songs to a playlist, and you can find that playlist on Apple Music or Spotify, and we'll put all of these links in the show notes for you so you can find everything there.
So many platforms to engage with us on. It's so exciting.
We've got a lot.
Get out there and explore, y'all. Come have some fun with us.
We're reasonable people sometimes.
Yeah.
We're fun and reasonable.
Sometimes. Depends what we're
What
talking
more
about.
could you ask for?
As part one of the 2025 replay would indicate, we aren't always reasonable, depending on selections.
We'll mix it up.
Right?
No, it was fine.
It was fine. I mean,
Hashtag.
everybody came back. Is it hashtag it's fine, or is it it's fine hashtag? How do you do it?
It's hashtag it's fine, old man.
Got it. Great. Yeah, great. Since Brad is all business-like, I feel like we got to get back on track here.
So just as a quick refresher, we took the Apple Replay playlist, which if you use Apple Music, you got this playlist in your account that was a recap of the top 100 songs that you listened to the most over the past year. As we discussed quickly in the first episode, a lot of us had many, many Oasis and Verve songs in our playlist, so we stripped all that out. And this is what we had left.
Which left us with 3 each to talk about. So by default, this is where we're at. It was a spirited part 1 of the episode, and looking forward to getting into part 2. So Carla and Bob spoke through their 6 total selections between the two of them, and now we will shift gears and talk through Brad and Mark's 6 songs. So Brad, do you feel like kicking us off, or do you want me to do it and you can be the closer, the grand finale?
Coin flip. I could go either way.
I'll go, since this whole concept was pretty much your idea. The first song I threw in here that wasn't Oasis or Verb or Richard Ashcroft is Only in Dreams by Weezer. Pretty rando, I felt like how did this get back into the mix for me? But this particular song obviously was part of the self-titled 1994 debut, aka the Blue Album. And this was the 10th and final track on that album. I felt like maybe I needed a long song. You guys always bring these krautrock songs that last for 20 minutes. So I made my
Land
best
grab
attempt
alert.
with an 8-minute song, or just under 8 minutes. The reason this song is so long is because it has a 3-minute guitar solo, which is why I love this song so much.
I think this song is longer than all mine put together.
It might be.
Now you're just talking rubbish. This is as jam bandy as Weezer will get. The two things as to why I love this song, or maybe three actually. Bass line, killer. 3-minute solo with the talking guitars, killer. And then the video was pretty GD awesome too. I came across, I think, the video sometimes when I'm looking for something to watch. I'll get on YouTube and just start scrolling old music content and old music videos. And I came across this and I'd just forgotten how great this song is. And so then that became this moment where I just started to listen to this song again. I love that guitar solo so much that I'll just listen to this and then repeat, listen to it again and repeat, listen to it again. It's a very bizarre thing. I get it. You guys can make fun of me here in the next 30 seconds.
That's how you get something in your replay, because we all do.
Yeah. It wasn't intentional that I was like, okay, I got to get this in my year-end replay. But for some reason, I got back into this. By far is the best of all the Weezer albums. It really is an iconic one. It definitely, when you hear any song off of this album, it takes you straight back to 94. And I just love the layers of those guitars as they crescendo and climax. And it is as good live as it is. It might be even better live. The last time I saw Weezer was probably early 2000s, before the Hurley album, thank goodness. Rivers just rocked this thing out and then just threw the guitar down on the stage, and then he got all this reverb and distortion, and he just walked off. And that's how the show ended, and it was pretty epic. I don't need to ramble on more about it, but yeah, somehow this made it into my most listened to in 25, which is kind of random since this came out in 1994.
That's super random.
Yeah.
When you sent this, I was like, what?
I had the same reaction. And it actually wasn't very positive.
Oh,
It wasn't positive. Is this your turnstile?
Yeah. And I love the Blue album. And I'm like, always glad this is the last track because I skip it. I think it's so boring.
I mean, it does plod along.
Find the guitar solo a little insufferable. It does not need to be 3 minutes long. Now,
That's what I love about it.
I do understand when you hear these songs live, how that really influences how you listen to the record. And I've seen them live a bunch of times, probably in the 90s, though, when they were a good band.
Agreed with you.
They're
I'm not going to
just a
disagree.
terrible band now. I don't know what happened, but they are not good.
No, they're not a good band
I'm
anymore.
surprised just because I guess I haven't paid attention to them for 30 years. I don't have a
Exactly.
view. What are they out there doing?
It's just this bad pop rock. I don't know what's going on with them. I can't listen to it.
They have a shtick. You can't do a shtick for that long.
And I think they're still trying to do the shtick, and that's maybe the issue. I don't know. Again, I love the Blue album. I think it is the best of all the records. Pinkerton is probably my number 2.
Yep, agreed.
But I do not like this song. I just think it drones on.
Rivers was quoted as saying he was inspired or influenced by Fish and some of the jam band. And that's, again, you would think as soon as I hear the word Fish, then I'm out as well, because you know how I feel about Fish.
Mhm.
It's about as strongly as I feel about Turnstile. But Rick Ocasek did produce this too. Just, if it's an olive branch, Carla, to you.
I was wondering where this came from. It seemed like a non sequitur. I mean, look, everything that I've picked is from before 1990, I think. So anyway, I love that you were sitting around watching old videos on YouTube, because that's one of my favorite things to do. If I'm choosing what I'm doing on a Friday night left alone, that's what I do. And yeah, it can take you to lots of places. The algorithm can take you places. I didn't realize that they had done a video for this. It's probably not one of my favorites on that album. I don't know if I'd detest it. It galumps along, and then you get to the part where it rocks out, and I'm like, that's good. All right, I like that. I wish it was attached to something more interesting at the beginning. But yeah, I can imagine that this fills the room when you see them live. And we did see them live. Those of us who went to the Lush show in 1994, which I think we talked about many, many episodes ago, I remember Weezer played the Sweater song, and we were all like, we have to go find that record and buy it. And I'd never heard of them. It was the Agora.
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, I think I've got a giant blue Weezer sticker someplace that we got at that show.
I think we all got them.
Yep.
Yep. It's still on the Subaru, wherever that car ended up. It was pretty much front and center on the back of my car, remember?
It may be at the bottom of the Indian Ocean right now.
Who knows? Song 1, off to a bang. I learned something else today. I did not realize Carla's.
She played I like every song on that album except yours card.
We did hint at this as we left part 1 of this episode that there would be some revenge plotting during the break.
This is not a revenge plot. I wrote this in my notes before we even started this podcast.
I'm going to want to see a date stamp on that.
Yeah, were those notes time stamped? Because you're going to have to prove it. Okay. Only in Dreams, Weezer. That was my number 1. The number 2 selection. I think this will be warm and fuzzy for everyone because
now he's playing the nostalgia card.
Let's go nostalgia, right? Let's go Take Me Home, Phil Collins. Ooh, surprise.
No. Wow, he's switching it up on us. A live switch up.
See, look at this. Look at this. Olive branches everywhere.
Confetti falling from the ceiling.
Ovation. My work here is done, ladies and gentlemen. Standing ovation, bow, exit, gracefully left.
The live switch up.
Love it.
Yes, listeners, we had a live switch up. That was not, or a switch back, actually.
Right.
Yeah, so listeners, I selected this song, Take Me Home by Phil Collins, initially, and
to universal acclaim.
To universal acclaim, yeah, to universal acclaim. And in classic Mark format, I changed my mind late last night, and these guys wake up to another song that I had selected. And I won't do the cheater and reference said song. I will just go back to my original.
It was a great song too.
And listen, they're my songs, so they're always great. Let's be honest. But
well, that's debatable, but as
clearly
we just heard.
Only in Dreams, just illustrated. So anyway, Take Me Home, Phil Collins. I mean, what's more there to say? And this was off of Phil's 3rd solo album, No Jacket Required, which is also probably for this particular group of diarists, one of the classics, right?
Oh,
one of the classic of our youth.
This is Walkman music.
What a killer album.
If you think about Sony Walkman, you think about No Jacket Required. Like, nothing epitomizes it more. I don't even know what to say about this song other than, ironically, it's the 10th and final track of this album, just like Only in Dreams was the 10th and final track of the Blue album. I didn't plan that. That's just lucky. This came into my rotation, funny enough, because we have a good friend, and his name is Sam. And he and I like to, and amongst others here on this podcast, he and I like to exchange old clips of old television shows. And majority of the time I'm getting hit up with 90210 clips from him. But in this particular one, I saw and raised him a return of a Miami Vice clip. And this was playing in the Miami Vice clip. And I think Phil Collins and Genesis got a lot of rotation from Michael Mann when he was doing the Miami Vice shows back in the day. And nothing epitomizes Miami Vice more than some Phil Collins songs layered into some of the dramatic scenes that go on there. But nonetheless, it triggered a separate listen in my headphones of this. And I subsequently just started playing this over and over and over again. And probably for me, because this is maybe my favorite Phil Collins song of all time. So I love Genesis. I actually really love Phil Collins, especially those first 3 solo albums he did. But this song, for some reason, I don't know, it's very emotional. It takes me back to a time, and it's just such a good one. So it made it on the list, and I'm glad you guys are stoked on it. I'll pass it over to let you guys add any filler here, but that's my second choice. And somehow I had a huge resurgence in our household in 2025, clearly, because it was in my top 10.
Yeah, I know it's going to sound corny, but you can never go wrong with early Genesis and those 3 solo albums of Phil Collins. They're always good, and they're almost good front to back, every one of them.
This record opens up with Sue Studio, which, as overplayed as it was, still a banger. Yeah. It's so much fun to listen to. This record's so great. I love this song.
The album's great too. There's not a bad song on that album. And you're right, Carla, for these songs we've heard so many times, you think we'd be tired of them by now, and they just don't get tired.
Do you guys remember the Against All Odds, the people making out on the beach? Take a look at me now. The dude was everywhere. Easy Lover with Philip Bailey. Love that song.
So good.
Yeah. Bob, way back in the day when we were exchanging Mix of the Month CDs, you dropped in the air tonight in the middle of something that was chock full of 90s techno and indie rock, and it landed perfectly. I remember thinking, my man is a genius. But this song, this is what you get when you have a drummer writing a song, right? Because you got those amazing drums that he's playing on the toms, and there's a secondary drum track that plays over the other one toward the end as it's building to a climax. And then he's got this sequencing with its own rhythm. It's got like 3 rhythms going on. They all rock. I just love it.
If you ever get a chance, look up videos of him in concert. And not only is he playing drums, but then he's got another drummer and a percussionist. So what you're hearing there, they would perform live, which is crazy.
I'm going to stump you all with a trivia question. Who played drums on Do You Know It's Christmas?
Was it Phil Collins?
It was Phil Collins. You nailed it, Bob. I just watched it last year around Christmas time. I was watching the making of it. And he's out there just all by himself. They're all watching him play it. They're all just eating it up. All that feel good.
There's so many videos out there right now, especially I think based on Phil's age and the nostalgia of these albums, that the sound they used for Phil Collins' drum kit is like an industry thing.
It's like a mega deal.
When you hear a drum that sounds like that, it's Phil Collins. And that everybody tries to reproduce those sounds because he made it so iconic and featured so perfectly in Take Me Home.
Yeah, love it.
Phil Collins was out of my rotation for a little bit, and then shout out to my friend Erin Ketty when we worked together at a venue. This was probably 10 years ago. She has this thing still to this day called Phil Collins Friday. And you always play Phil Collins in the office. That's and great. That reintroduced me to Phil Collins again and has been in my rotation ever since. Never disappoints.
There you have it.
Yeah, great selection.
Good call.
Okay, good. Glad to bring
We're
some
back.
back to the
We're friends again.
Back to the podcast.
Arm
We're
in
friends
arm.
again. Good.
Yeah.
I think my third and final selection won't be controversial either, and I think we'll maintain the nostalgia and friendship here. And it's a bit of an interesting one because I think most of our listeners, or actually maybe all of our listeners will actually know this. I was going to say most of our listeners probably have never heard this, but who am I kidding? I picked a song by a Youngstown, Ohio band called Figure Ground. And the song is called Prepare Face. this song was originally released in 1990 on their, I guess, EP called Threads. For this particular group of podcasters, they were a band in heavy rotation with another wonderful band that we all love called the Februaries. And fitting that this time of year, I thought this would be fun. And I'm not sure how this ended up being one of my top 100, but I did have somewhat of a resurgence of listening to Figure Ground this year and some of those old Youngstown bands, probably because I've just been hanging out a lot with what I would call the old Cedars Lounge crew. And the Cedars Lounge was an old kind of hole in the wall bar, pub, watering hole. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, this group here, as long as an extended group of other of our friends, it was a safe haven for us to show up and talk about music, celebrate music, play pinball, drink lots of Rolling Rock, and listen to live music. And Figure Ground was synonymous with the live music in this particular watering hole. Definitely during the holidays, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas time, there would always be a reunion show or a constant show where they would always play either Thanksgiving night or Christmas Eve or Christmas night or Boxing Day. I don't know, one of those days. Typically the lineup would be As Big as Love would open, February's would play next, and Figure Ground was probably the most established of the three that would play last. To me, this is one of my favorite songs by them. It's just classic alt, jangly, shoegazy rock of the 90s. As I said, this particular song was released on a cassette only in 1990, and in 2007, Figure Ground did an actual CD reissue of just about all of their song tracks called Youngstown.
Yeah, it was in 2007 on Apple, and I didn't know if they'd re-recorded this or it's because it sounded great.
Yeah, in 2007, Figure Ground reconvened for one show at the Cedars, and the CD compiles most of the band's previously unreleased cassettes. This is a great way to explore the catalog of Figure Ground. I always thought that Figure Ground was going to go a lot further than they did. But gosh, great lyrics, great guitars, and it got a lot of play for me this year, I think, as I went down memory lane.
Well, we listened to it quite a bit in Columbus on the Ocean Blue weekend last month. It's been nice to revisit them again. I'm really glad that this is on the streamers and we're able to hear this outside of the old cassette tapes that we have.
With the big hiss.
Yeah. It's just really fun to listen to. They were a really terrific band, and this song still holds up today. When you hear the indie pop and shoegazy new stuff that's happening right now, this still holds up. It's good stuff.
Youngstown in the 90s had a sound, didn't it?
It really did.
If you hadn't told me what this was and you just played it, I'd be like, this has to be from Youngstown.
What do you think that is? The guitar jangle to it?
I think it's just the guitar sound. I feel like all those guys had similar sounds. Not that that's a bad thing, because it's awesome. And it's one of those things where every once in a while I've sat down with a guitar and the computer and tried to figure out, can I tinker around with this enough to make that sound? But yeah, the nostalgia here is thick.
It's kind of a deep, resonating or resonant jangle sound. I spent some time thinking about where that sound might have come from if this came out in 1990. Its overall vibe. And I was feeling Little Replacements, The Church, Mighty Lemon Drops type stuff, and Toad the Wet Sprocket. 3 out of 4 of those bands I like. You can guess which one I can't freaking stand.
Is it Toad?
Oh, I fucking hate Toad.
Oh man, they're so good. Come on.
Because there's that sort of seriousness for the girls thing that I feel about Toad. We're not here to talk about Toad.
Yeah.
But I never really clocked these guys. I don't remember seeing them because, of course, I was always away at school.
You were the furthest away for school than the rest of us, so.
Saw a lot of Boogeyman Smash, saw the Fabs every opportunity I could have. I was a little more distant from them. I knew about the Dear Prudence cover with the Smiths. I had to listen to this a couple times before I really dug it, but I'm right there with it. And there is a Youngstown sound. And I wish that everybody knew there was a Youngstown sound rather than just both our listeners, you know?
I think it would probably become a Midwest sound, but I do think it is pretty specific to us because that's who we were going to see and that's who we were listening to. I think we could argue any of the bands that came out of Pittsburgh had their own sound. And I guess it is maybe that guitar tone that's what sets it apart.
As soon as the guitars really start really coming in the song, it's like, yeah, I can hear exactly being in Cedars or Penguin Pub. I can hear it 100%.
I can smell it.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other ballgame.
Right.
The minute I hear these songs, I can smell Cedars.
That kind of burnt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A little charred, a little bleachy.
The thing that does it for me is whenever I hear these, my mouth starts to water, and I know 100% what a Rolling Rock tasted like in 1992.
As you chased it, a Vulcan Mind Probe or a Flaming Dr. Pepper, hence the charred.
Just
Or
Jägermeister.
when Tommy would look at your wrist and he would see that you were underage and he'd point to you holding the Rolling Rock and say, finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not getting another one, but finish that one.
Well, those are my three interesting, mostly revisited of a lot of old songs that somehow made it into my 2025 replay. Lesson for me is I got to start listening to some newer music more frequently.
I would say older. I'm all about the older music.
Yeah. Trying to stay hip and with it, Brad. Ducka, ducka, ducka.
I mean, are you? Because I put new music in there and you slam it.
Better go listen to some Turnstile. It will make me hip. All right, Brad, why don't you close us out here with your three selections,
Yeah.
Speaking of old songs.
Sure. I'm going to go from Youngstown, Ohio to Brazil for my first track. The song is called Baby. It's credited to Gal Costa and Caetano Veloso. Veloso wrote the song, sang backup vocals. Gal Costa's lead on it. I'm positively obsessed with this song. I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've heard in my 50 plus years of life. I wrote a Substack about it the other day. Now I'm off to the races. I'm writing again once a week because of this song.
Você precisa saber da piscina, da margarina, da Carolina.
As I said, this is Brazilian music sung largely in Portuguese. It was released in 1968 on Gal Costa's self-titled record. The genre is Tropicalia, which was a musical movement led by Veloso and Gilberto Gil in the late 1960s and early 1970s. I've been listening to a ton of Tropicalia lately. Os Mutantes was the gateway drug. We talked about them in another episode. The short summary of what this music is it was combining traditional Brazilian sounds with rock elements with different levels of each. Os Mutantes were super rocky. There's not as much rock and roll in this one. Interestingly, Os Mutantes covered this song on their first album, which was released in the same year, and they junked and fuzzed this thing up a lot. If you don't hate this, and I'm not sure if you guys hate it or not, but if you don't, you should listen to the Os Mutantes version as well, because it's wildly different and cool in its own way. This version is really understated and exquisite. Like me, that's probably why I like it. I love that there's all this negative space in the song, particularly at the beginning before the strings come on. So you mentioned tape hiss, Mark, and I even had it in my notes. You can hear the tape hiss and you can hear the sound of the silence between the musicians and when her voice isn't on. I'm as obsessed with Gal Costa right now as I am with this song. I've got this record on vinyl. I'm looking for the next one. Probably got to go to São Paulo to get a copy. One last thing, before I put myself on the slab. There's a part where she sings in Portuguese, you need to learn English. And then later she sings, I love you in English. It's adorable and perfect. When I realized that interplay was happening in the song, I teared up. I'm doing it now. I just love this song. I'm over the moon about this song and I can't stop playing it. We'll leave it there.
Her voice is stunning. It's so beautiful. And the arrangement of this song is gorgeous. I'm a fan of Tropicalia. I like Costa. I'm a big fan of this song, but her voice is just beautiful.
There are other records where she really squawks. And yeah, and she really cut her teeth on that early bossa nova stuff in the 60s.
I love bossa nova. I don't know what it is about it. There's just something that's so free and easy about it, but you can tell there's a lot of heart and soul in it too. I guess that was the thing that got me here is it's like, okay, I can sit and groove to this. So
Why did you think you were going to get put on the slab for this?
I thought you were going to hate it. Honestly, I thought you were going to be the one who hated it.
We listened to this last night and we were like, Brad Bruzi has the most interesting taste in music. I don't know where your love of bossa nova comes, but you know, like my very first vinyl record, like in my revisited, you bought me what, Brad?
Yeah, I bought you Os Mutantes.
Yes.
Which is
I
the
would have
hook
never
for all
bought.
of this.
I don't know if it's because of your family's restaurant background that you guys lean into this bossa nova world or samba world, but what's not to like here? It's really fun, happy, beautiful music. I want to have a cocktail when I'm listening to it.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
Especially in a playlist that's going to come up. You're going to bop your head. You're going to be jamming to it. And it's good. It is what it is. There's way more controversial stuff to talk about.
There was a big eye
Could you
roll there
hear
from
that
Carla.
eye roll? Just-
It was like clattering around in the sockets.
Piercing my right ear.
My uncle did play a lot of Sergio Mendes in the restaurant because he dug the
Yes.
trumpets
Yeah,
and stuff.
I could see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So maybe that did soften me up. This all goes right back to 2001 albums.
For sure.
Nice pick. Surprising, but then again, not surprising that this would be in your top 100. Out of curiosity, where did it sit in your top 100? Is it high up?
I had a lot of listens for these krautrock bands that we were talking about. It was third.
That's surprising.
It was third. There's another Gal Costa song, number 2. Me no me
Wow,
gal.
so Gal Costa is in your top 3.
Yeah. And then the other baby is number 4. Os Mutantes baby is number 4. So
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad is very into the bossa nova inspired music here this year in 25.
yeah, every once in a while I say to Carla and Brad talk about Tropicalia.
I'm completely down for that. I love
Okay.
Tropicalia. I think it's so fun and it's just interesting listens. Those songs are just really pretty songs.
You were already in on George, if I'm saying it right, George A. Ben.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Take It Easy, my brother, Charlie. Oh, man, I love it. Yeah.
I love that song.
It's fun too when you come across whole genres that are like super regional, and then you hear them, and you always kind of wonder why they aren't maybe more popular, other
Yeah.
than the regional. I feel like whenever you hear bossa nova, and I don't mean this the way it's going to come across, it's the perfect background music. If you have it in the background of an activity, it just instantly makes it better.
I like to imagine myself in like Don Draper's Manhattan late 60s apartment playing this on the hi-fi, you know,
Yeah, it does have that vibe for sure.
with a glass in my hand. Yeah.
That's like you're envisioning something that would make you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just always like this.
Low lighting shag carpet. Yeah.
Did I put a So Jorge song on our playlist from The Life Aquatic? He's the Portuguese singer that did all the
think-
David Bowie songs. Did we do that
Maybe.
at some point?
I think you did. Yeah.
I think you did.
This will be a good
Yeah,
addition. We potentially have 2 Portuguese songs in our.
I think that was in our
playlist.
foreign language episode. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. All right. So moving to number 2, very different. Now we're in England, Coventry, England, actually, home of the Specials and all that two-tone stuff. This is not that. This track is The Primitives. It's an album track from their first record called Through the Flowers. I found this album at the Princeton Record Exchange back in May, June, something like that. I always thought of the Primitives in the same category as Darling Buds, who I've loved for decades. That Crawdaddy record, which we have covered in an earlier episode. Same era, same radio-friendly indie dream pop sound. But I never really listened to the Primitives. I knew the Crash song, which was awesome. That's track 1 on this record. It's like, we're going to get our hit out of the way, and then we're going to do the rest of our career. And I think, was it on the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack? Crash.
I feel like that song probably is featured in a handful of places. Yeah.
Anyway, this song feels a little different. It's not as hard hitting. It's not as high tempo, up tempo. It has a Jesus and Mary Chain feel to me. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Okay.
Yeah. Psycho Candy specifically, the jangle pop guitars played really loud and with heavy distortion. I just let that stuff rain down on me. I can't get enough of it. There's a lovely vocal melody here too. It's like fighting its way into the mix through this beautiful mess the band's making, and I just want more and more and more of that melody. Do you guys remember Gator Gum? It was the best flavor of gum, that like lemon lime stuff, but you only had it for 2.5 minutes and then you had to cram another piece in your mouth.
Yeah.
This song is like Gator Gum for me. Like, I feel like I just didn't get enough, so I got to go back.
It is a super short song.
Yeah.
At 2:31, it shoots right by, but it kind of like the bossa nova. It has such a sound that when you hear it, you're like, yeah, okay, I can almost picture exactly when this song came out because it has such a sound to it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You can kind of lock in on the time frame of this song. It's good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
This was the song I mentioned in the first episode. I felt like maybe the Beths had been influenced by them.
Yeah.
I could hear it a little bit when I listened to the two back to back.
The Primitives just weren't a band that really got a lot of rotation. When you hear the Primitives, I know that band, but then I don't really know that band.
Yeah.
And then you play the songs,
That's how I was. I was like, I know the name of this band, but I couldn't think of what they sounded like.
3 songs. Crash, Crash, and Crash.
Yeah, when you hear the songs, you're like, oh yeah, that's Primitives. Crash obviously being the biggest one. When you do some research on them coming up in the 80s, they were coming up at the same time the Soup Dragons were, Darling Buds, even Morrissey wore a Primitives t-shirt at one point, which gained them quite a bit of notoriety because he was wearing it. Take that for what it's worth these days. I guess there was a time when Morrissey gave you the thumbs up. It was like,
Wasn't the kiss of death? Yeah.
Yeah, like Arctic Monkeys was also endorsed by him. Now you'd be like, please don't talk about my band.
I don't want your endorsement.
But this is just, it feels like it just slots very well into the playlist amongst the other selections.
What year did that song come out?
88. I wonder if they got jammed up by Manchester. This is 88. And now here come the Stone Roses and the Happy Mondays to say, this is what music's going to sound like in England.
It's a good point.
I got into the Darling Buds. So my sister had it. I got into it because I heard a little bit of Heaven and it had that funk kind of beat with the wah-wahs that I was jonesing for because of the Stone Roses. This record doesn't have that. This is before that. So it might be borrowing from Cocteau Twins, Jesus and Mary Chain, that kind of thing. And it just went out of style. That's my guess.
No, that's a super safe bet.
Not only that, then grunge came right after. So there was no chance. Yeah, there was no chance. Yeah.
Not in the United States, for sure. All right, so that's number 2. My third pick it's a flock of seagulls. It's Telecommunication, which weirdly has an accent mark over the U in Apple Music. I just noticed that today.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's on purpose because he hits that syllable hard in the chorus. Anyway, I really went through something over the summer with the
You
flock
really
of seagulls.
True story.
I thought we were going to have a podcast just about the flock of seagulls for a little while.
I was going to demand it. You can find this record in the used bin of any record store you go into because everybody bought it because it had Iran on it. And then everyone sold it when the decade changed. But I finally bought it shortly before I started texting you guys day and night principally about the guitars on this record. I had a greatest hits album, and I played a couple of the tracks on it. Space Age Love Song, I Ran, and actually this song too, Telecommunication. Like half that first album was on the greatest hits record because it's just really good. But it wasn't until I bought the record and was playing it here that I realized that the Flock are basically like OMD with kick-ass guitars. When you think of this band, you see the dude standing over the keyboard and the hollow mirrors. You think of them as an 80s synth band, but really I feel like it's all about the guitars. This record, I want to say 82. Mm-hmm. He's got the delay on it. He's playing what the Edge plays on Where the Streets Have No Name, on Bad, but he's playing it earlier. And I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that Flock of Seagulls invented U2's guitars.
Whoa.
Well, now we need Sam.
They could have been independently developed or whatever. But look, if the Edge was listening to this and was influenced by it, then God love him. You hear that, I think, most acutely on Space Age Love Song. Anyway, this record is so goddamn good.
Yeah.
We call so many of these 80s bands like Bow Wow Wow, The Waitresses, etc., one-hit wonders. And then you go to the record with the hit on it, and it's top to bottom just brilliant. And I really struggled with what to pick here, especially because a couple of the songs that I really liked weirdly didn't show up in my replay. Carly, I think you had a little bit of this too. You were like, there were songs that you really wanted that you were hemmed in by your replay. I picked Telecommunication. This is one, I was playing it really loud around the house. And it's because I think the first chorus is kind of chill, like it's kind of timidly sung and played. I think to bait you into turning up the volume, and you crank it up and then you hit it the second time and it's like a tidal wave. Goddamn awesome. Anyway, there's a lyrical theme and vibe here that brings to mind Kraftwerk and OMD, like Telecommunication, Radioactivity, Telegraph, Radio Waves, all these songs. They're singing about technology and they're rocking it up. It's kind of dorky when you think about it. Is anybody in the year 2025 going to sing about AI platforms? Maybe the AI platform that's writing all the songs now will, because it becomes narcissistic.
You just look at the titles off of that album. You've got Space Age Love Song, Messages, Telecommunication, Modern Love is Automatic, DNA, Man-Made.
Yeah.
There's a theme there.
Absolutely. And DNA and Man-Made were the two that I really wanted to deep cut, dig into. But I'm happy with this choice.
It's a great choice. I love your reference to Kraftwerk. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
To me there. And I don't think your statement around the influence on the Edge is out there. I think if you look around, there's a lot of popular theory and discussion. I assume you came up with this on your own. And
I was driving down Trapello Road and I was thinking about it. It was nighttime. I don't know where I was coming from. And I was like, oh my God, I have to text everybody. Because I had it cranked. I was playing it directly through the radio and I had it all the way up.
Flock of Seagulls was definitely like a synth-heavy new wave, but I think they were unique in the way they injected that atmospheric guitar sound to it.
Yeah.
And so certainly we can all relate that straight to the Edge with a lot of chorus and delay being used.
Yeah. Totally different aesthetic and what they're aiming for, but at least that particular instrument and its sound.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and especially they were all developing their sound at the same time. It's always hard to remember that Boy came out in 1980.
Bonkers.
Right.
Yeah.
And you hear a little bit of that same sound on Electric Co. I don't want to get into a thing about who did it first, but but I love it. Love it on all the records.
You've got to look at that to a certain extent too, as just the technology that's out at that point and what people are doing and their influences, this is the part that's always crazy to me. What is the Edge listening to in 1978 that's influencing him?
Right.
That's kind of crazy to think that he's listening to things like Pink Floyd probably, and that have this crazy sound that nobody else is really making. Then you got guys down the road that are doing something similar, and without a doubt, word's going to get around that, hey, these guys are trying this different effect on something. So what does that sound like?
Funny enough, Flock of Seagulls is playing a half hour away from us on Friday night, and I'm just like keep debating on whether or not it's worth driving at 9:00 at night to go see somebody. Have you guys ever seen them live or recently?
No, it's one of those things where they come through with like 15 other 80s acts, and it's like Howard Jones and Flock of Seagulls and Bow Wow Wow, and there's a cruise ship. I think you can go on and see these guys. They play like two songs each. They play the one popular song and the B-side, and then they leave the stage.
They would come out and play Iran Space Age Love Song, and that's maybe it.
And now here's Kajagoogoo with Too Shy. I'd love to see them all by themselves.
Yeah, it looks like they are by themselves, just at a little club here. Liz is like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, it starts at 9:00. I don't know.
It's important for them to still have that hair, and I wonder if they can pull it off.
From the media picture, it looks like he still has it.
I need to listen to this album. Admittedly, I've never listened to it. I've only heard that Iran song, and it's not one of my favorite things in life.
What?
So.
I find this to be a very, very nostalgic.
So I should start at song 2.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll know Space Age Love Song. It sounds like I might know that one, but...
You will know it when you hear it. Yeah.
Nice picks, Brad.
Thanks. I think that's a wrap on our 12th.
That wraps up part 2 of the 2025 replay.
This was fun, and I think one of the reasons we can pick themes that have us all picking songs that are similar if the theme is a particular year or a particular genre. But when the theme is, what did you guys have in your end of year playlists? We're able to get just a big cross section of stuff, like a wild variety of stuff.
I know one of the things that I've been doing more of this year is, as I find things, I keep scrolling down to the bottom to see if you like this, you might like this. I know I've definitely found things this past year by doing that. I know I'm going to try to do more of that this year, because the thing that's always interesting about that is it's usually a pretty good mix of old things and new things.
That's true. It really is. I need to use that more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm not going to do this year is listen to more Turnstile.
Oh, I will not be listening to Weezer, so right back at you.
Let's try to end on a positive...
on a happier note.
On a happier note, I'm going to go listen to Oasis.
Everybody think about Phil Collins.
Actually, I'm going to go listen to Easy Lover after I hang up here, because that's still in my head.
Yeah.
All right. Until we meet again.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys.
Bye.
Awesome. Bye.